issue of maritime boundary row. This is the elephant in the room now. The Kenya government has rejected in total Tuesday's verdict rendered by the International Court of Justice over the boundary row in between Somalia and Kenya. Now, the president says we'll use all available means to protect our territory. Farmajo, on the other side, the president for Somalia, says Kenya should just accept and move on. What options do we really have as a country?
It's not a question of discussing options. It's a question of us as a republic finding that this is a laughable matter. This is not the first time a court with international jurisdiction has made a ruling that has been rejected by concerned parties. The United States of America, the United Kingdom are on record having rejected unfriendly rulings from international courts. So I want to appeal to the president to exercise Article 5 of the Constitution of Kenya, which defines that the Constitution of Kenya comprises of that territory and territorial waters that were there when the new Constitution was promulgated. And further, gives Parliament an opportunity to create an Act of Parliament that can give Kenya additional territorial space and territorial waters. Anything less is not acceptable. Now, why I am going directly to the president is because I'm old enough. I remember Wamatangi and my brother Mtua, of course Gladys. In 1982, Margaret Thatcher came out all those kilometers from the UK to the Falklands in Argentina to defend the territorial boundary of Great Britain. And it took 10 weeks for the matter to be sorted out, and all that Margaret Thatcher needed to demonstrate is that they were not going to cede even an inch. The president should sit on the alert, and if anybody, be it from the Republic of Somalia or any other republic, then goes into that area which is defined as the territorial waters of Kenya, that person should meet the full force of our armed forces, both on land, on water, and in air. Yes.
But Honorable Wanga, that will then strain our relations with Somalia, right?
Well, I want to agree with Senator Boni here. And I also want to agree with our president when he said, not an inch. We are not ready to lose a single inch. And the president has said he will bequeath this nation and our territory to the next head of state in the same manner that he found it. He was not going to consider it. But Trevor, let me say that international tribunals only have jurisdiction to the extent that the party states are consenting to that agreement. I don't think they can come in if we do not consent. So on this matter, whether we are in agreement with the president on other matters or not, this is a clear case of, even if you were fighting in your home and then you had that at the gate, you have aggressors, you stop everything you are doing, you come together to fight to protect your home, and then you proceed. But you know, Trevor, this is also a serious matter of our national security. So it's not a matter to be taken lightly. It's not a matter that we can just let go of. And I'm happy with the position that Kenya has taken. And I don't think we should go any other way. I don't think we should cede, not an inch.
All right. Wamatangi?
Yes,
what is the best way of handling this? Because everyone it's a standoff now.
Yes, it is, and it is bound to be for long. If you look at the length of time it has taken, actually, indeed, to deal with this dispute, or rather, for the period it has been in existence, it's a long time, Trevor. And remember, part of the strain we have been having with the People's Republic of Somalia was camouflaged as other matters, but indeed it was out there in the undercurrent that part of the main reason why there was a lot of aggression against Kenya was because Somalia was in its own way trying to bring that to the fore and fight a war with this country with the intent. I don't know whether you remember, Trevor, there was this time when we had a lot of piracy issues just around the same square. And it was a way of trying to dominate that area by Somalia. Most of the pirates then, you remember, were indeed from that country. So to say, I think first I want to agree with the president. It is in our history, and we should, as all Africans, reject. If you remember the problem we have had when we read history about the scramble for Africa is when people sitting in offices, whether they be courts or any other entities, decided to draw the boundaries of African countries when they were sitting abroad without setting foot here, without getting to understand what are the issues. And you find that I think this is one such case whereby when they know that the Republic of Kenya was unrepresented in this matter and the weight of the issue itself, I think the ICJ should have been very hesitant to pass a judgment knowing the implications of that judgment. You know what they're saying? By virtue of that kind of judgment, they may as well create another Kashmir. You know, you remember the dispute that has been there where there's been continuous deaths, fights and so on between Pakistan and India for forever. And not only there, but everywhere. I mean, it's in Gaza, you know, the kind of deaths and loss of lives. What they're saying is that they want to create that kind of situation. By passing that judgment, people may lose their lives, countries may go into war just because of that decision. But they don't care. They don't give a damn. If you go to fight, then now they'll come again and start saying that you have killed this one or killed this one and come back to court. I think they should have been very hesitant to make that kind of judgment. I think because you've asked the question, what would be the way forward? I believe that yes, our position should be as it is. First, it is not acceptable. We can look at options. Is there an option of appeal? You know, whereby you could bring this back to reinstatement and you have the matter heard once more with the representation of Kenya and its case. Remember, during the adjournment, when Kenya took its last, position to that court, Kenya said that there were very important maps that should show and that would show this is where the boundary lies. And for that reason, that's why we were seeking as a country to have the matter adjourned and heard once those documents have been found. And then the court can reliably rely on those documents to make a judgment based on evidence that is documented, that has been there. And one would want to be asking themselves, Trevor, I don't know who is telling our neighbors around that our country is up for grabs. You know, remember the kind of fights we've been having with our neighbor in Uganda over Migingo. And it is still unresolved. And our fishermen still get arrested there every day in the night and taken over, and their wares confiscated. Now we have Somalia on the other side. And let's not forget that this country went for a long time into what was called the shifter war over the same issues of boundaries. Remember, there was a time we were threatened by Idi Amin when he said that the boundary of Uganda runs across through Naivasha, and he was going to march up to Naivasha and take up that country. I think the only way we can send a clear message to any person who may be thinking that Kenya is a country that does not respond adequately to those kind of threats is by standing our ground, and if it means that we defend that ground, we should be ready to defend it. So on this one, I would want to urge the country that this is where we cannot speak either politics or anything else. We should rally behind the president and ensure that we all speak in one voice. I would want to ask also, because we have a conflagration of a lot of Somali nationals who live in Kenya. You know, we have a very porous border. We have a lot of interrelational issues with those communities. That this is not about ethnicity or other interests. It is about the boundaries of the two countries, and whether you are a Somali living in Kenya or living on the other side, you are welcome. The point is, should we not then ensure that those boundaries remain the same, and white people sit, and I'm sorry to use that term, but it is true. But these guys sitting in those places out of our territory, who don't even know maybe how the history looks like, should desist from making those kind of decisions.
Governor Mutua, could this potentially become a war? How bad can it get?
It can get bad. It can get bad. But, you know, I remember, and I like the statements that have been made by my colleagues here. You know, Bonnie was very clear about Dr. there, about where our position is, and also incoming Governor Wanga. And what my running mate here said, you know, when Idi Amin said that Kenya gets up to Naivasha, what did Kenyatta do? You remember?
Yes.
You know, we had a troop of our military, and tukasema fanya fujo uone, and we showed Idi Amin that you play with Kenya, we'll be, you know, eating breakfast at your sitting room tomorrow morning. And people thought, yes, that is important. But do we really want to go to war? We don't want to go to war. I like the position that President Uhuru Kenyatta has taken, that we'll talk to these people, but we are not ceding an inch. I am of the opinion that once the borders have been drawn over a period of time, hii kurudi nyuma tuachane nayo. You know, this section is a Kenyan section. What we need to be discussing now is how to work together to police that section from terrorists, from piracy, and from other things. But there should not be a negotiation about to organize that border. I was in government at a time when this issue came up. We've been discussing this issue for a long time. I remember the advice that was given to us by one General Karangi during one meeting with President Mwai Kibaki. And that is, at times, you know, we have to do it like the Americans. You know, Americans claim sections by occupation. You know, it's not just about drawing the border, but what is our presence in that area? You know, we need to claim that area and have our presence there. We need to have our Navy patrolling that area. We need to have our troops on that area protecting our fishermen, protecting people who are going there to look for oil and others. It is our area. It's our territorial area, but we can't just say iko tu kwa bahari. We need our presence to be felt. We need flyovers by our jets. Ziaje tu kaa Nanyuki, zinakaa hapa Isili, wanaosha jet, imeoshwa sana, paka inang'ara. Wache pige raundi huko. So we claim that territorial border. I've looked at the standard and the editorial talking about how Tanzania has been able to sort out those issues, and that we should have a kind of mediation between the countries and all that. Yes, it is good, and I believe that in talking it is important. But the time unasema hii ni Kenya, ni nchi yetu. Nakumbuka wimbo Kenya taifa letu. Tunasema kanyaga nchi yako kwa nguvu na raha. Na ukikanyaga nchi yako kwa nguvu na raha, pia unalinda nchi yako kwa uwezo wako wote. So I like what President Uhuru said, that he's going to hand over to us you know, in 2022 without ceding an inch of what was handed over to him by Mwai Kibaki.
All right.